Now we're gonna see how we can read from the Excel files. So if I go back to my presentation, the PowerPoint presentation, like in order to read the Excel file, we will be needing an input stream, right, which selects that particular file, right? And again, now this time we have another class that we're going to introduce, that is the workbook factory, right? So this workbook factory class will be there that we will be using, right? And a code will look something like this. The very first the file stream that we're gonna take, give the file that you need to read, and using the file input stream you need to basically load that particular file, right? Now there's another class, we have seen XSSF workbook. Here we need to call another class, that is workbook. This is again inside the Apache POI API itself. And then we'll say workbook factory dot create, and we need to give the reference of this file input stream. So this is not basically creating a file. This is basically creating a connection for that particular file that we need to read, right? And then taking the first sheet, so we're gonna say sheet at the 0th index, get the sheet at the 0th index, or even we can give the name of that particular sheet as well. Same thing, we're gonna read the rows, the data, cell data inside those rows, get cell 0 1 2, right? And then we're gonna print it one by one. So this is how we can do it one by one. We're also going to see that how we can do the same thing using the loops as well, and read the entire data at one time, right? So let's see how we're going to do that. I'm going to go to Eclipse and create a new file, a new class, and name it as reading Excel, right? And let me remove these things. Now what we gonna do, I'll first be copying the file through the file input stream that we have seen. So I'm just gonna say this is the file, right? And then I'll be creating an object of file input stream, right? For writing we were using file output stream. For reading we'll be using file input stream. File input stream, and I'm gonna give f over here, right? Then we'll be calling the workbook class. I'll add this exception and call the workbook class. Workbook equal to I'm gonna call it with the help of workbook factory dot create, and it asks for a file input stream, so I'm gonna give the fi over here like this, and we're gonna import this workbook from Apache POI and add this exception as well. Now next thing, we need to call the sheet. So I'll say sheet 0. Sheet 0 is not an index, it's just a reference that I'm creating over here. Workbook dot get sheet. Now you can see there are two methods. I can get the sheet name as well, and sheet at the index I can say 0, so it should actually get the very first sheet, right? And import it. We need to make sure that it should be imported to SS user model only, right? And then we'll say row 0 equal to sheet 0 dot get row, and at the 0th index, right? Same way I'll say cell A equal to row 0 dot get the cell at 0th index. So at the first row, 0 index should be the first row, and the first cell, it should actually get the data. And if I print the cell A over here, and then I'll say fi dot close, it should actually read the data from the very first cell. So if I run this, let's see what is the data at the very first cell. It's 98.0. If we take a look over here, why it is showing 0? Because it's a double value, right? It's an integer value. If you read any integer value from Excel sheet, at the end it should actually gonna print dot 0 over here. Later on you can split it and just take this value from this particular format, right? Now what we're gonna do, we're not gonna read the data one by one. We're gonna use something that is called as enhanced for loop, right? And through that we're gonna read the entire data from the sheet. Now how this enhanced for loop is being formed, this loop is running over the rows, and the sheet is the rows actually belongs to the sheet, right? So we're gonna run a loop for rows, and then we're gonna run a loop for cells are actually coming from rows, right? Now in a Excel file, if we talk about Excel file, there could be data in any format. It could be integer, it could be a string, it could be a date, it could be some sort of formula, right? And so that is the reason we need to add a switch case statement over here. We'll say switch cell dot get cell type, right? We're gonna get the cell type of the cell, and if the cell type is string, it should print all the string cell values. If the cell type is blank, it should actually gonna print the blank values, and if the cell type is numeric, it will gonna print the numeric values. And that is all we need to do. So if I write this particular code, it will actually gonna read the entire values from Excel file. So let's see how we're gonna do that. I'm gonna comment out this part, right? For the time being, we got the sheet at the sheet 0th index, right? Now what I'm gonna write, I'll say for row. I'm gonna create a reference for row equal to row and then the symbol sheet. So this is how we write an enhanced for loop, right? And then I'm gonna create one inner loop for cell. So I'll say cell, and I'm gonna give the row reference over here. And here let me do it, and once I execute it, you'll be able to get it. So I'll now write a switch statement. So switch cell dot get, there's a method get cell type, right? Now I need to add some case over here. So case is cell dot cell type string. Now if the cell type is string, it should actually print all the values from get string values from this particular type. All right, and same I'll gonna do it for the numeric values. So I'll say case cell dot cell type numeric. If it is numeric, then it should actually get all the numeric cell values, right? Same case cell dot, if it is cell type is blank, then I can simply write blank values or blank cell, right? And in order to do formatting, I'll just gonna give a tab over here, right? So that it should add some space. That's it. And over here as well. And let me remove this ln from here so that I can print it in a same format that the table has, right? And put a new line after the current row is being printed. And one more thing, I have added it over here. Basically we need to add it after this for loop, right? Not after the switch statement, right? And the other thing that we missed over here, we need to add a break statement as well. Otherwise, it will gonna execute all the scenarios, right? So we're gonna break it from here, and from here, right? Now let's save this and let's run this and let's see the execution. And you can see the entire values are being printed, right? So it started from 98 and the last one 48. If you see over here 98, 48, and then 4 and then 1. And over here you're going to see 1 and then 4. And you can see that the Excel sheet was opened, right? And it still it reads all the value from the Excel sheet, right? So this is how step by step we have seen that how we can use POI APIs to perform reading and writing from Excel sheets, right? In the next session, you'll see that how I can create a utility, an Excel utility that I've already created. You can go through that particular utility, and you can use some of the methods to perform the Excel reading and writing in a very simple manner. That is basically a one-time effort. I have actually created some methods which will really going to help you in reading and writing inside the Excel files. You need not to read. You need not to write all this code again and again. This is just for your reference. In interviews, there are a lot of times it's being asked that how you read and write and from an Excel file and explain all the classes that are available inside POI API. So you will be explaining these things itself, right? So just practice it on your own, and you'll be very much comfortable in performing reading and writing operation inside Excel file. All right.